Close your eyes and imagine a line of men stretching for thousands of miles. 3.8 million soldiers, 3,000 tanks, 7,000 artillery guns. In June 1941, this was the most powerful force ever assembled in human history. They were told they were invincible. They were told that the Soviet Union would collapse like a house of cards. But as they marched across the border, they weren't just invading a country ... They were walking into a graveyard that was already waiting for them. Welcome back to Dark History Files. Today, we uncover the arrogance, the betrayal, and the freezing horror of the biggest war mistake in history. Operation Barbarossa. 1 o'clock 2:30, the betrayal and the blitzkrieg. Hitler and Stalin, two of history's most ruthless dictators, had a secret. They had promised not to fight each other. But Hitler was obsessed with a dream called Lebensraum, leaving space for his empire. At 3:15 a.m. on June 22nd, the silence of the Eastern Front was shattered. Thousands of German guns opened fire at once. The betrayal was complete. For the first few months, it looked like Hitler was right. The German blitzkrieg or lightning war was unstoppable. Millions of Soviet soldiers were captured. Moscow was almost within sight. Hitler was so sure of victory that he refused to prepare for winter. No heavy coats, no winter fuel, no plan B. He thought the rotten structure would fall. He didn't realize the Soviet Union wasn't a house. It was an ocean, and an ocean doesn't break. General winter and scorched earth. Then came the rains. The Russian roads turned into Rasputitsa. A sea of mud so thick it swallowed entire trucks. And after the mud came the White Death. The Russian winter of 1941 was one of the coldest in history. Temperatures plummeted to -40 degrees. German oil turned into jelly. Tank engines wouldn't start. Guns jammed as the metal froze. Soldiers, still in their thin summer uniforms, began to freeze where they stood. But the weather wasn't their only enemy. The Soviets used a scorched earth policy. As they retreated, they burned everything. Every farm, every house, every piece of bread. They left the Germans with nothing but a frozen, empty wasteland. The invaders were no longer fighting for a victory. They were fighting to survive the night. The cost and the lesson. Stalingrad became the final nail in the coffin. A city turned into a meat grinder where 2 million people died. Out of the millions who marched east with dreams of glory, 80% of the German army was destroyed. Hitler's ego didn't just lose him the war. It wiped out an entire generation. It remains a chilling reminder. History doesn't forgive arrogance. If you found this file intriguing, hit the like button and tell us in the comments, was it the winter or the Russian spirit that truly defeated Hitler? Subscribe to Dark History Files for more stories from the shadows. The next file is waiting.